Whew. It's a hot one. Here we go. We're getting on live. Everybody join us. It's Bobble Talk. We're back. And it's hot. Everybody join in the fun. Need my towels. It's so hot. There's a little bit of royalty-free music to break up the quietness. Let's get everybody on here. You know, Mark wanted to join. Whew. It's a hot one today. What's up?
Dude, it's so fucking hot.
Dude, I cannot stand it. I got fans going. I got everything going. And then we keep getting hit with a warning that we're gonna get a rolling blackouts here. So
yeah, I got most of the lights off here, just trying to do my part.
I just turned more lights on.
What's up, Oakland Fitteds? How you doing, bro?
Yeah, Ernie.
What's up, H-Town? What's up, Ernie?
H-Town with a giveaway, right? They got a giveaway going right now.
Fitteds, I got some heat in today, bro. I got some new pins that came in.
Yeah.
They're hotter. They're hotter than it is outside.
I saw that, Chad. I got family out. Well, I guess not Yuba City, but I got family out there. Looked like he was out pretty close to that guide service he was using. I recognized him. A fairly big name, so that's tight.
It was 1:15 at my home today, H-Town. That's unheard of.
Yeah.
Like 103 is like ridiculously hot around here.
Yeah.
Hey, Kent, what's up, buddy?
There's our boy. So it looks like Bobble is no longer with us.
We lost him. He melted.
I think so. I think he took up those jobs to keep posting on his story for $50 an hour. It looks like he left us to take one of those jobs.
Dude, if I lived closer, I would have taken
it. he throwing that in his story, just calling people out. Dude.
Yeah, dude, look at STL Bobbleheads is making fun of us because of the electric cars. What a bunch of crap, dude. Our governor is such a schmuck.
Yeah, well, I can't stand our
No, but this isn't a political show.
Right.
What's up, Andy? What's up, Sniper? What's up, Mike?
What's up, fellow? Fantasy
Coco Bobbles. Hello, how are you? This isn't a political.
There we go. I know. See, Mike, you can get a job down in LA, bro.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, my bad, Sniper, dude. It's been a long, long day, dude. I'm sorry.
Toasty.
Dude. I just got back right now.
Toasty calls me. I never call him back, dude. I'm sorry, Toasty.
Sniper texted me, but I was at appointments, and it was 100-something degrees.
Dude, my Tuesdays are just insane, dude. Hi, Melody.
Dude. Yeah, 114. It's just out and about. I've been out looking at. I'm an appraiser. I appraise properties, and I don't know why, but today I ended up with like a big old bulk load of.
You know what you need tonight?
No.
A big old bowl of spumoni.
You like that?
God, that looks sexy.
I had to break it out. Although I'm hot, so I'll probably be taking it on and off a lot.
I got two new ones that just came in the mail. Well, they came in the other day, but I've been out of town. Oh, so yeah. I just opened them up. I've been having like mail days for days. I got like 10 packages over the weekend, and I just broke them up by every couple of days. I'd open something.
That's
what's up, Top Fan?
There you go, Top Fan's in there. Yeah, what's up? But Melody and I were on a podcast for him last week.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't know if it drops. Let me know if it drops when it comes out, Top Fan. I'm not sure what.
I must not have a podcast voice.
Oh, well, you know, my voice is smooth as butter. And so, and I don't, I don't trip over my words. I don't stutter, nothing like that. So you can see why people really enjoy having me on their podcast.
Nobody ever invites me on their podcast. Even when Triple B did, he had it at a brewery, and it was so loud nobody could hear what the hell I was saying.
Well, only reason I got in because Melody, I went along like a little brother. I got in on that.
Yeah,
so.
she's the voice and the looks of that duo.
Yeah, pretty much. It's pretty much. Hey,
what's wrong with my teeth, Grubs? Oh, that's right. I forgot. I got buck teeth.
Oh yeah. I forgot about your buck teeth.
I forgot too. Thanks a lot, Grubs. I just gotten through therapy, got all over it, and now you bringing up old shit.
That's brutal. That's brutal. Dude, it's all getting in your head for fantasy football. He's trying to get in your head.
I know.
I don't even know who's up against who this week. So is Bobble like just gonna quit on us altogether or what?
I don't know, dude. I don't. I'm a little confused as to where his priorities lie, to be honest. He's not committed to the cause. He's had a big weekend. He had his son's birthday yesterday.
Yeah.
And now where was he? Sending us pictures today from like the Mojave Desert. What was he guarding?
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Guarding a helicopter crash?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
It's weird, dude.
Yeah. I mean, after the Kobe thing, I don't want to necessarily get photos of a helicopter crash, but he told us.
Hey, look what Mike just wrote in the chat. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
He says, "Who am I against? Oh yeah, I'm not in the league." I invited Mike. He left me on red.
Oof.
He didn't even respond. Didn't even say, "No, you stupid bastard. I don't want to be in your league." Nothing. Just completely leaves me on red. Well, he's laughing about it now. That's funny.
Oh, is it funny now, Mike? Come on.
It's funny now, Mike, huh?
Funny guy. Oh, he's calling BS, bro. He's calling bullshit.
Oh, I've got receipts, bro. I can scroll up and take a Snapchat. Yeah, let's take a snapshot.
Well, I want to see a Snapchat. Let's get some Snapchat going on there.
I'm not doing. Hey, everybody's in town tonight, huh?
Well, did you get anything in the mail? I haven't really got a whole bunch here lately.
I did.
Well, bust it out. Let's see what you got.
It was a big year for this guy. A very big year. Is it too dark? Should I turn some lights on?
Nah, I think it's fine.
So this is the Steph Curry.
I didn't see that.
It's all good. He said no. The receipt's there though.
He was calling it out last week too. So just so you know.
He was Mike. You were the first person I invited. So yeah, this is from Foco Bobbles. In my opinion, a beautiful piece again. No regrets, baby.
Not yet.
No regrets.
I bought this one.
I bought this one right away though. This is the MVP piece. The one I showed last week was just the generic All-Star. It's a huge base. I don't know if you can see. Like, look how much room is back.
Why is it so big?
Because they had to squeeze in this like Cleveland sculpture, I guess.
It's all about Cleveland.
I don't know, dude. I don't know. The thing that sucks about these is the game is in Cleveland, so I'm stuck with their colors. No offense to anyone from Ohio, Andy. But it's nice. They did a good job. I do wish that as the MVP, I think it would have been cool if they put the trophy in his hand instead of a basketball.
Yeah, I like trophies. I like trophies.
Yeah, but what can you do? You know, this is numbered 196 out of 322, and I got this. I saw yesterday that Foco posted that the Warriors baubles are some more Warriors baubles are going to be dropping on starting this Friday. Yeah, go ahead, buddy.
So tell me again, what's up, Huddy? I just saw Huddy poke in there.
He's what? Oh shit! What'd you do? You broke the freezer?
Uh-oh.
All right, just wait. Put that down. No ice cream right now. Okay, fix it. Yeah. So I think what.
Hey, he's like F this freezer.
Just wait a few minutes, okay? When food comes on, I'll help you out. Just put it down. Go watch WWE. Yeah, I don't know what's coming out or anything yet, other than this Friday they're going to start releasing some. So I'm super excited to see what comes out. And I just replaced the fridge, and he
I forgot. It's been like 3 weeks.
It's been like 3 weeks, dude. So anyways, yeah, we'll see what happens.
So they're gonna drop. You said what, six regular size, right?
I think that was between you and me.
Oh, I mean, I was talking about something else, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I'm excited though. Look forward to seeing. Hopefully some. Hopefully, I'm sure there'll be some curries for sure.
Cool.
But we'll see what comes out. I didn't get any other bobbleheads.
Oh,
I have one. I have an awesome thing that. Oh, I can share. Okay, thanks. I didn't want to. I didn't want to get in trouble. I didn't want to get blacklisted by Foco Bobbles.
I was talking about something. I was talking about energy drinks. Anyways, 6 different energy drinks. Anyways.
Okay, so starting this Friday, there's going to be several weeks of drops that come for the Warriors championship, the latest championship run, the one where they beat the Celtics in 6 games. That one.
The Boston Celtics.
Yeah, the Boston Celtics. That one where they beat the Boston Celtics in 6 games after being down in the series too. But yeah, so there's going to be 6, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going off the top of my head. 6 standalone bobbles, just regular size. There's going to be several mini sets. So a couple mini. Easy guy. A couple of mini sets.
Finally, I was waiting for something.
The funny thing is, and I shared this with Sniper, is Hudson's basketball team is the Celtics, so he's actually rocking his jersey right now. I got to see the damn Celtics jersey and cheer for the Celtics all year.
Peck, I was joking, Peck. I was trying to get a dig at Sniper there. Sorry.
Yeah, we were taking shots. So a couple mini sets, not mini set. There's going to be a mini set for sure. And then there's going to be some mini, I don't know what you'd call them, like a 3 or 4 guy mini bobblehead diorama or some whatever. I don't know. Maybe from the parade, or I don't know anything other than that. But I know that it's going to be happening starting this Friday for the next several weeks. Hi, Liz. How are you?
Liz joined us. How about that? Oakland's own.
Oakland's own. So yeah, it's going down starting this Friday, and I'll be on top
a mini
of that.
scene. A mini scene.
Mini scene. Thanks. What did I call it? A diorama?
Maybe. I like that. That's good. Is it a mini scene? Is it a mini scene where the Warriors are celebrating and beating the Celtics?
I hope they're drinking champagne at the Garden. That would be.
Is it we beat the Celtics on?
Oh man, that's fun.
Well, that'd be good. So this is Friday, right?
Starting this Friday. Yeah, for the next several weeks they'll be coming out. I think there's 3 that are coming out this Friday.
That'd be cool. I'm excited for you. I wish I had 3 of something coming out, but
because my pre-orders have been coming in, so I gotta start piling up some pre-orders again. You know.
Yeah, and I one of the pre-orders we got, I got to start ordering some more pieces too. One of the pre-orders we got for the Lou Gehrig giveaway came in.
Nice.
I didn't bring it with me. I don't know why I didn't bring it with me, but so I can ship that out. I gotta look up. I forgot who won that, but I looked.
Moments from the parade is a mini scene. That'll be sweet.
Oh, that'd be sick. That's
2 pieces each week for a few weeks.
Oh, I like that concept.
Yeah, man, it'll be nice. What about you? Did you get anything?
I went to the game. Got the coveted Zach Geloff.
Oh yeah. I like that uniform at least.
Yeah, it's a very nice bobblehead. It's good. They're like a mid-range. They've gotten smaller, I noticed, as we go here lately. Yeah, that's right, Peck. You got the Gehrig. That's right. So it'll be in the mail. I'll ship it out tomorrow.
It might melt.
Yeah, it probably is melted already. So I got that. I don't know. Yeah, I showed off my other ones. I finally got in from everybody else from last week. I had Jay Frazier had been helping me out and picking up all the other pieces for me. Just kind of as a side note, my customizer Mellow TV on Twitch. We got about 7 of these things about done here soon. So all you that have been pre-ordering, if you guys are interested, let me know. We got a few of these left. So, but
I'm raising the roof. That is so awesome.
These are big. They're big, and they bobble really well. So anyways, we got about 70 things almost done already to be 10 of these made. So pretty
That's
sweet. Yeah. So anyways,
beautiful.
yeah, it's really, really cool. It's like super, and each one's pretty kind of unique to itself. They're kind of just the base diorama. I mean, they're the same but different kind of thing.
Hey, I'm starting to get worried about Bobble Foo now.
I know. I thought about reaching out.
Here, I'll do it. Hey, Josh.
And so, anyways, if you guys are interested in those, hit me up on those. We have a few of those come left, and then really, I have not really got much of anything. To be honest with you, I bought like a million things of resources. We've been pumping out bobbleheads like left and right at home on customs. We actually got I'm trying, Kent. I'm trying to get him one. I'm working on another project, a different project with another artist, and so we're working to get that to one to party as well. And so he's seen it, he's retweeted it, and everything else. We're just trying to get one in his hands. But I think I'll bring Kent on here, or our guest tonight here in a few minutes here. But what was I gonna say? I was gonna say something.
No, she cannot.
Oh, come on!
Absolutely
No,
not.
that doesn't work like that. But we're doing the other ones, the other party pieces. But no, that's not 89. That's not 88. That's 89. So just so you know.
Dude, who is at my door now?
Are you able to get a hold of Fool?
Can you see who that is?
I guess we'll move forward.
Hold on a second.
Okay. Well, I think we can talk to our guest.
Hey, Hud, don't answer the door. Because I don't know who this ding dong is.
Is it Bobble Fool?
No, he's trying to sell us something.
Oh, is it trying to sell you steaks?
Probably. It's not a good time, dude. I'm on Bobble Talk.
Talk to him. Talk to him.
I'm not going to talk to him.
Yeah, do it.
Were you open to letting our guest on?
Yeah, of course. I've been waiting. I got something to show off when he comes on, too.
Good. Well, I'm going to invite him on then.
Yeah, let's go.
Might as well move on. Bobble Fool is just too good for us. There's $50 an hour job now.
Yeah, he's not replying.
I hope he's okay.
Me too. Dude, this guy's persistent. He's just waiting at my door. It's weird.
Hey, it's the man.
Hey, Kevin.
What's up, guys?
Hey, what's going on? Look at it. You rocking the Henderson Park shirt too.
Absolutely. I got to wear the jersey, man. Represent.
That's awesome, man.
I love
it.
Hey, yeah. Timmy.
Hey, Mark, you might want to answer the door. It could be a freezer guy.
It's not. I need a freezer guy, but it's not.
Seriously, dude.
Dude, that was the funniest thing. Oh my!
Was it really loud? You guys?
Yeah.
It was loud. Loud.
I was like, wow, you guys are paying for sound effects now?
He ripped the handle right off.
Mixing board and everything in here.
Oh my god.
Well, Kent, man, this is amazing. You're like, to me, one of the most highly respected collectors of anything going right now. You are, but I mean, the extent, the level, the knowledge, what you do, how you do it is very respectable. I mean, to the top notch. And besides it, it's in our realm, Oakland, Rickey, related there. But hands down, I applaud you. The way you go about things, the way you do things is amazing.
Well, right back at you. I mean, I tell people all the time, your room where you're at right now is something that I admire and look at all the time. And I love all the collections that, you guys share and bring on. It's really inspiring. So I really appreciate hearing that. But yeah, I'm just a guy having fun, doing something that I've been doing since I've been 9 years old. I'm 43 now, and I've only collected one guy. So, it's in some ways easy to acquire a collection when you've been working that long for one single person. And I still love it as much today as I did back then. So it's just fun. I mean, that's how I always say, the day I stop having fun is when I stop. and I hope that day never comes because, you know, I've lasted this long in it. But yeah, I won't do this anymore if you know, the hobby in and of itself just doesn't become fun anymore. So
you have the best vacuum in the game as well.
there you go. Exactly. My vacuum lines are pretty legit. Yes.
Yeah. What are you using? Are you using a Dyson in that room? Or?
I know. What is
Yeah.
that?
Do I get paid for that? Absolutely. Dyson. Absolutely. Heck yeah.
The stick back or what?
I don't know. It's a little ball thing.
Nice. All right.
Yeah, you got an amazing vacuum lines.
It's hilarious because, you know, my kids, I have 3 boys, and you know, as soon as I get done vacuuming, and by the way, I will also wet vac. You know, no one talks about that. Double the work. They'll come and they'll stomp all over it. I'm like, really? I mean, let me take a picture at least. So yeah, that's what I'm dealing with, guys. That's what I'm dealing with over here.
That's awesome.
Yeah, the vacuuming. I look forward to vacuuming every time.
Sundays, vacuum days. Absolutely.
I love it.
You got to take care of the cave, man. You got to take care of it.
Hey, there's congratulations are in order too. You got Ricky coming to Kansas City.
Oh,
yes. Nice. I was hoping that when you saw him, you whispered in his ear like, "Hey, your next stop needs to be KC," and it worked. So thank you. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
I had no idea. Someone actually DM'd me on Twitter saying, "Did you know Ricky's coming to Kansas City?" And of course, me being the big fan, I'm like, "No." And he's like, "Yeah." And so he sent me the link. I'm like, "Wait, what?" So yeah, it's the exact same like GTSM that I think was at Santa Clara.
Yeah, same show.
Yeah,
that's how I found out about it. Since I started following that promoter on Facebook, and I saw that they added Ricky.
Yep.
So that's awesome.
When's that happening?
October 8th.
Oh, that's soon.
I was also, you're not going to like this, but I was also very pleased to see that the prices in Kansas City are the exact same as the prices in the Bay Area.
That's what I was going to ask next.
I did notice that. Yes.
That made me feel a little bit better, at least.
Right. I wonder if Bo Jackson's higher here though than what he was in Santa Clara.
Oh yeah.
Who knows?
Jackson, man.
I heard his lines were insane. So
they were insane, and I watched that pretty closely, and it was disappointing because like for me at least, as soon as Bo sat down, they made an announcement saying, "Do not pull out your cameras or your phones if you're caught filming or taking photos. You will be thrown out of the show." Like, and I'm like, dude. Like, man. What is the deal? And then, I mean, you weren't supposed to take photos with, you know, they sold professional photos. That was the deal. But I had tickets for Ricky, Canseco, Fred Bolitnikoff, and Raleigh. And everybody except for Canseco, as soon as I said, can Hudson take a photo with you? Every single one of them was like, yeah, come on up.
But see, Saturday. So I was there Saturday for like ever. I was there for like 12 hours. I was with the I call him my son-in-law. He's really not my son-in-law, but anyways. But he's a 49er fan, so it was all San Francisco stuff on Saturday at the same show, and they were strict as can be. I told Mark, I said, I don't think you can get pictures with any of that stuff because they were selling that separate photo sticker, and they shut that down. You were not taking pictures with anybody unless you had that ticket. And so I was impressed. That was awesome for you, Mark.
It was.
Maybe I need to bring my kid, Mark, and say, "Hey, here's my 3 boys. Can you take a picture with them?" And I'll just happen to photobomb it. You know, I mean, I'll do whatever I need to do.
That's really the thing. The funny thing is I wasn't going to be in the photo with Ricky, and Ricky's the one that's like, "You don't want to be in this too?" And I was like, "You have no idea how bad I want to be in this." So he's
what's funny is I did that exact same thing in 2013 when I met him at the Field of Dreams. Is I was so excited to be there with my son that I'm taking pictures of Ricky with Dylan, and literally it was Ricky and Walt who was like, you know, "Don't you want to be in it?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, actually I do." So I handed the phone to somebody else, but yeah, you get caught up in the moment. You're like, "Wait a minute." So that's funny that we both did that.
Yeah, it's I mean, to your point, you get caught up in the moment, like. When I've seen Raleigh a bunch of times. I've seen Canseco more than I see my family. It seems like I couldn't even care less when I saw him this time. But when you're in the presence of Ricky, you're like, I mean, I was nervous. Like, I was like, what am I gonna say? You know, like,
yeah.
And then I was nervous about the fact that several people had, put stuff in my head about like he might not sign that bobblehead and. So I was nervous about that, but it was it was quite quite a moment, man. Like, it was expensive. Like I said, I think on my Twitter post, I said it was worth every penny. It really was.
Right.
And part of it is because he made it. Like, he spent probably 3 minutes, which doesn't sound like a long time.
No, it is.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
it's a long
deal.
time when there's a
It's
long
a big
line.
deal.
Talking to Hudson about, telling him to work hard in school, telling him to run fast at baseball, like, little things like that, asking me questions about the bobblehead. Like, it was cool. So
his interaction with kids is incredible. And that's what he'll tell you. And that's what, some of his best friends will even tell you is at the end of the day, it is about those younger fans.
yeah.
And he has no problem talking to them. And of course, you'll hear the horror stories, as a player, how he, told someone to F off, or, I don't have time for you right now, or whatever. But, the other side of that is there's a very genuine person there that really does care about his fans.
Right.
And has frankly learned a lot about how to deal with the media and folks, even in his later years. So, you see a different side of Rickey now than when you did when he was, in his prime. But yeah, that kid experience, I mean, the way he treated my son and the questions he asked him, I remember that more so than anything. It was just unbelievable.
That's awesome.
That's cool that you had that moment.
And his daughter was with him too, which for me, that was
daughter
pretty
now
cool.
Is his booking agent. So she's the one that actually negotiates all of his signings and all that stuff now. So she's with him every single signing.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep.
It was cool. She took, I'd noticed she was on her phone a little bit sitting there, but like when I had that bobblehead out there, she was taking pictures, taking videos. Like,
yeah, I saw a photo of her taking a photo of that.
Yeah.
Didn't you say like this would make a great cake or something?
She said she was referring to the base of it. She's like, it looks like a birthday cake. I wish it was a birthday cake.
That's awesome.
And she also, now that you say she's the booking agent, that makes sense, because she's like, she asked if it was made, and I said yes. And then she's like, oh, there's 8 other ones, huh? This is 2 of 10. And I was like, yeah, I guess. I didn't want to get too into it, so.
Wow, so she's paying attention to the details. Nice.
Yeah. I got it sitting right here. I'm going to show it.
Yeah,
Look at that thing.
Mine's at home. I forgot to bring mine with me.
I've showed that for the people that haven't seen it yet. That's the signature I got on it.
It's beautiful.
With the Man of Steel inscription.
Time on that, man. He took his time.
It's also, he did. He said, I'm going to take my time on this. It's funny too, because Rob knows, I was going back and forth with people, too. I asked you too about like what inscription and also what color pen I should use. And so I finally settled on silver. And when I got up there, I told the guy, and the guys told Rickey he wants to go silver, and Rickey's like, he should go white. And then I was like, all right, let's go white.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
Goat orders.
man.
I like it.
Travis Grubbs, he's the man, dude. Came through big time on this. It's just a gorgeous piece. So enough about my stuff.
Yeah. So talk to me. So you're in the Kansas City area. You've been there all your life?
Yeah. Well, I lived in Chicago for 6 years after I graduated college. But then, once we had 2 kids up there, we moved back home.
And Rickey just came about because Rickey's Rickey, right? That's a fan.
Yeah. So Rickey came about, 1987 is when it started for me. Is when I got my first complete set of cards for Christmas. So Christmas morning, I go downstairs and I get 1987 Topps in this boring brown box. I didn't collect cards. I'm like, what am I supposed to do with this stuff? I played baseball, so I was like, okay, it makes sense. Maybe I'll get into cards. So needless to say, I spent a lot of time with that 1987 Topps set. I mean, I collated it by colors, by teams, by players.
Yeah.
And as I started to go through all the players, I'm like, damn, dude, like Rickey has a ton of cards. And I literally kind of stopped and I said, this guy must be good. And it just kind of took off from there. Little did I know he was born on Christmas Day. I got that set on Christmas Day. I'm born the day after Christmas. So
Nice.
I played left field. I couldn't hit worth a lick, but I was the leadoff hitter and I could bunt and get on base with the best of them and I'd steal. So I'm like, who else am I going to pattern, my collection after? So it just kind of took off after that into its own little realm. And honestly, being in the Midwest, there's no, especially in the Kansas City area, you know, how dare I at the time try to get a Yankees player in Royals Kingdom, right? Yeah. So, especially during those years. So
yeah,
it made it really, really easy for me, quite frankly, to make deals even as a kid, because I could give them any George Brett, any Frank White, Bo Jackson, you name it. And they would just basically just say, oh, here's 5 Rickies then. I'm like, okay, cool. Fair trade. So that's how, honestly, I was able to acquire a lot, even in this market. And then in high school, I worked at a baseball card store. So that kind of opened up a whole new realm of, now I have access to everyone who's coming into the store, obviously what the store gets, going to national shows with the owner, and really had an amazing opportunity then to wide a caster net on kind of what I was able to see and obtain. And then eBay happened, and well, the rest is history.
So, yeah, it's funny. Kind of a similar story. I think I'm about a year younger than you. So I got my first set of cards. I think my first set was the '88. So it's like almost in line with the way. But one thing I remember about the Rickey card is I remember looking at those, because you know at those ages you study those cards. Like you said, you correlate, you put them in by color, you put them by order, you know everything, and then you start. I learned so much about individual players and everything. And I remember the Rickey card, those stolen base on those stat lines. You remember? And the 100 and whatever per year, that 1 year. And you never see nothing like that. You know what I mean? And that always is like, I remember that vividly as a kid, always looking at that Rickey stuff. Because, Rickey was obviously popular here at the time. But I always remember that. It's like, that's unbelievable. You know what I mean? Like that one season.
And it's funny you say that, because if my first set was 87 and he was a Yankee, right?
Right.
So that was like my first introduction to really learning more about Rickey. I missed the whole first run of the A's.
Right.
82 was that 130 stolen bases. So there luckily was a card in 1987 Topps called Turn Back the Clock.
Yeah.
That has a picture of his 82 Topps card with him, which is like one of the most classic cards of all time.
Right.
And so that was the first time I'm like, oh, what's this about? Like A's? And so, it's just kind of funny how it started off as Yankees. Then I realized, oh my God, there was A's before that. And then of course the A's after, and again, the rest is history. But yeah, I've thoroughly enjoyed now having to go back in time and learning all about Rickey in those younger years. Because that was some exciting ass baseball. So
I'm trying to think of how I'm going to ask this question, but it just kind of came to me. And I'm thinking about it because we're all around the same age. The 3 of us share that we all love Rickey. The way I remember Rickey was him coming to the A's in that trade in '89. Like I heard of him, but to your point, like we were little kids when he was on his A's run. Like we don't remember that.
Right.
We certainly weren't collecting cards back then. And as the years, like even when he was here in Oakland during that initial run, 89, 90, 91, 92, and then they traded him to Toronto. But even during that run, as amazing of a player as he is and was, and as popular as he was always still a little bit overshadowed by certainly the Bash brothers. And so I guess where I'm going with this question is, as a collector of Rickey Henderson, do you feel like it's gotten more and more and more difficult? Because it seems like his popularity continues to grow. He's like a fine wine almost. He's been out of the game and he keeps getting more and more popular. I think people are really starting to respect what he did after his playing career is over. Yeah, I mean,
Rickey was not well liked for several years for a variety of reasons, most of which are media driven. New York doesn't help with that. And so he got a bad rap. And frankly, he did have issues with, how do I talk to the media? How do I interact with, them? But when you got down to it, like at the teammate level and at the coach level, you'll find very few people that would ever say anything bad about the guy. Which to me is the most important thing at the end of the day. He's on a team, is he in it to win it? Absolutely. He's not all about himself. A lot of people will say he was just all about padding his own stats. Well, his postseason track record and the amount of trades that they had to get him to get to the postseason track record speaks for itself. You don't do that for someone who's not going to help the team, right? And so it has been a really fascinating kind of roller coaster of his popularity now that he is not only way past his playing days, but it almost took like the Hall of Fame in his amazing speech at the Hall of Fame, which was very gracious, very humble, that they saw a different side of Rickey that I don't think they've ever seen before, didn't even want to see. Maybe they just, the media had built up this persona that Rickey can't be genuine. And I think they saw, oh crap, actually he really can be. And I think that moment really, really changed a lot. And since then, it has just completely escalated. And you know, even the new Rickey biography book by Howard Bryant, it cast a whole new light on the whole life of Rickey from the early days of Oakland all the way through, and really amazing detail. And I would highly urge anybody to read that because it really tells his whole story and things that maybe they heard the real side of it. But yeah, to your point, long-winded way of saying he's definitely more popular now than probably ever before, which is just so weird that he didn't get that appreciation. I've jokingly said, but I really mean it. I think he's the greatest underappreciated player of all time. So what I mean by that is someone with his caliber should always be talked about in the top, let's just say 10 of baseball. Well, most people will put him in the top 20 without question, but getting in the top 10, it's like, oh, that's impossible. To me, I like top 5. I'm selfish, so I'm of course I'm always going to advocate for that. But if you really look at everything that he accomplished, and where he ranks amongst so many different areas and how he transformed the game of baseball in many, many ways, like there's only a handful of people that have ever done that.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
For 25 years, he did it for 25 years. So
it's unbelievable.
It's crazy.
That book was excellent. And the funny thing is, I had done that bobblehead with Mike Norris, and Norris had told those stories. Dead on. I mean, that author had whoever told him to go talk to Mike Norris was right on, because that was dead on to who you talked to, and he repeated those directly into that. But you're right, that book did a great job explaining why Rickey, the issues with the media, or how Rickey is, and how he, relationship he had with the media, and kind of why it is what it was. But that book helps explain very well Rickey. You know what I mean? From everything I can account. Yeah. From the way everybody talks around him, I mean that almost nails it. I mean it does. And he always got such a bad rap for being, all about the money. Well, you got to remember back when he was getting the highest contract of all time at $3 million a year. Well, I'll say that out loud, $3 million. Like, come on, really? Like, good God. Right. It was all a bad rap because no one had ever done that before. It was a whole new era, before arbitration, all that sort of stuff. I mean, he was the first one to really go out on a limb and advocate for himself, frankly. Right. And he took a bad rap for that. And looking back at it now, it's like, oh my God, that's what everyone does every single day, and we don't think twice about it, right? So yeah, he took so much heat for that he's selfish. How dare he? I can't believe he'd ask for that much money. And yeah, it's just like, no, he, like Rickey, he literally was ahead of his time. From the swag, his personality, all that was for today's game, which we're all used to. But he was doing it back then when, oh my God, people don't do that. And yet Rickey did. and the book sheds light on the A's were taking advantage of him. You know what I mean? Oh, 100%. Because they're letting him drop in that draft, and then they could pay him less and everything else. I mean, why wouldn't he? You know what I mean? Any common sense comes about, but that book helps explain that. You know what I mean? And so I think it's wonderful. I wholeheartedly agree with you. That book did a wonderful job explaining. Well, and he always got a bad rap for like 87, for example, with the Yankees. He was injured. He literally tore the hamstring off the bone. Like, it was off, right? And so he's out for like however many months it was or whatever. But he was getting such a bad rap that, he's just, jaking it, whatever that means, to get additional money and all that sort of stuff. It's like, no, that's just not true at all. And it's like, just again, building up this aura around him that it was always Rickey's fault. It always had to be something about Rickey, when really it was all these external factors. Yeah.
So speaking of bad raps, and I'll let you tell the story because I know you know it, but the question came into our chat here a little bit ago from STL Bobbleheads. Obviously, he's a Stan Musial. Obviously, he's a Lou Brock guy. And he asked the question, I think he was asking it to everybody, but does anybody feel disrespected by the speech that Rickey gave when he broke Lou Brock's record? And so I know. Why don't you tell the story of how that came, what that speech was, and like why it was perceived as disrespectful?
Yeah. So a lot of people might not even know that, you know, Rickey and Lou hung out a lot with each other, you know, prior to breaking the record, you know, even in 82, even during the AL stolen base record, and then all the way through, obviously, from basically stolen base 935 to 939, he was there at every single game, up to even including writing the speech with Rickey. So they had collaborated together. Rickey literally kind of had the speech with them, is what I understand. And then in the heat of the moment, of course, he goes and ad-libs and improvs pieces of it, but also did speak to a majority of it too. And the snippet that never, or that always, of course, gets out is that final line of, you know, I am now the greatest of all time. And that's what mainly the media, that's all they want you to ever remember about that speech. If you go back and you read the speech word by word, it's actually very gracious. You know, he thanks a ton of people, a lot of people that helped him along the way. You know, Billy Martin, obviously the A's organization, the owners, Lou, and the whole "I'm now the greatest of all time" was actually paying homage to Muhammad Ali, which is one of his all-time idols. And just like Muhammad Ali had said those words, you know, Rickey was basically echoing that. It was no disrespect whatsoever to Lou from Rickey's standpoint at all. But of course, the media ran with that, and well, the rest is history.
Yeah.
So, and Lou would collaborate that, you know, had several times over the years too. That, you know, it wasn't like something intentional to spite Lou in the process.
Yeah, I do have I'll tell a real quick funny story from this past weekend about the greatest of all time thing. We all joke about GOAT and this. I'm with you where I do think he is top 5 of all time, even if Andy doesn't. So over the weekend, I don't know if he's in here tonight or not. Our buddy Michael Smith, Smitty, he had a couple of things signed, and one of the things that he had signed, he has this. He brings this beer light with him. It's just the casing to the beer light. He doesn't bring the whole thing, but he has it signed by a bunch of Oakland greats. So, and everybody that signed it so far has put an inscription on it. So, he asked, he paid for the inscription, and Rickey asked him what he wanted, and he said GOAT. And Rickey kind of looked up at him like just confused, like GOAT. And Smitty winked at him, and Rickey smiled and wrote GOAT. And then he put like exclamations around. It was freaking brilliant. Because Rickey knew, but he was like, you know, he was, in a way, he was like trying to be a little humble. Like, I can't do that. And then when Smitty winked,
draw a little goat on there.
Oh, I know, that would have been funny too. It was such a great moment though, man. It was so funny that he did that. So
that is,
it was pretty cool.
Yeah, because I think you had told me that, you know, either you had seen him not sign that before or said he wouldn't, and then I know I've seen several rookie cards where he has signed that. But yeah, I bet you there was a moment in time where he was like, no, I'm not going to do that, because, and to him that brings up, frankly, the bad memories of, you know, the media and them chastising him for it for years. So
yeah, he's definitely a misunderstood. You know, from that time, especially, like, you look back on who the media didn't like, and for what, I don't know what it was. I don't know if maybe he just didn't like talking with the media or felt uncomfortable, but like, you think about people that they didn't like, and I think of Barry Bonds as the first one that comes to my mind. But you ask anybody that knows anything about baseball, and they'll say, yeah, Barry Bonds was an asshole. Like, his ex-teammates collaborate that. But to your point, I mean, ex-teammates speak of Rickey Henderson like he was the greatest guy you could ever. He'd run through a wall for you, no pun intended.
Right.
So my 3 interactions with Rickey never been good. I've never had one good interaction with him.
Really?
Yeah. From the first time I had a spring training as a kid in I think it was 89 or 90, and him and Tony Gwynn on the side field warming up. And he came off and was over there because they had a little area where you could talk to the players and stuff. And Rickey had wanted nothing to do with us kids. You get out of here, leave us alone. and Tony Gwynn came over and said, Ricky, stop doing that. We're just the kids just over here trying to talk to you, and this and that. Because you couldn't it had like a chain link. You go over the top. And Tony Gwynn came over, and I loved Tony Gwynn after that day. He stood there. He would teach you how to play catch, or teach you how to throw the ball, teach you how to hit. He'd do everything. Ricky was just not feeling it. He stood out there the whole time, but he was only talking to adults. He didn't want to talk to any kids and this and that. And then 2 other ones, once at the ports and one other time. I never had a real good interaction with. I agree. I assume he's he's wonderful, yeah, but I've never had a good interaction with Ricky ever. So.
I've told you before, I'm pretty sure I've told you, Rob, but I don't think I've ever told Kent the Rickey Henderson story from when I was a little kid. I was probably, let's see, he was with the A's by then, so I was probably 10 or 11. And my dad worked in Oakland at the time, and it was a Saturday afternoon, and I was at work with my dad, and we were heading back home, and we stopped for gas. And Ricky pulls into the gas station. He was driving a black Porsche convertible. Have I told you this? No. So he pulls into the gas station. He's driving a black Porsche convertible. And I told my dad, I'm like, that's Rickey Henderson. He's like, this is way before phones or anything. There's no pictures to take. And he's like, well, go get his autograph. So I had some paper and a pen from my dad's car, and I go over and I asked him if he'd sign an autograph for me. And he's like, yeah, no problem. He's like, go inside and pay for my gas, and I'll come. It was back when you take the money to the thing and then you pump it. And so he's pumping gas. I go inside. I'm waiting in line. He gave me $20. I pay for his gas. I told the lady who it was for, or, the car it was for. And as I'm walking out, Ricky drives off the lot. And I was crushed. It absolutely crushed me. I mean, obviously this correlates with what Rob was saying. But now at 42 years old, I'm like, that was the coolest thing Ricky could have ever done to me as a kid. I think it's so awesome. But
it's karma, just so you know, that that Porsche burnt up in the Oakland Hills fire with a lot of his personal possessions as well.
Oh, I knew his house.
He lost a lot of his trophies and everything in that Oakland Hills fire back in whatever 90. Yeah. So
91.
I think it was 91 because some of
91.
His stolen base trophies. I think the MVP trophy, a lot of that stuff, all gone.
Oh man!
At least the originals, obviously. I assume MLB gave him another one. I don't know how that works, but yeah, he lost the car, the house, obviously everything. So
that probably happened not too soon after that.
Is there any chance you can take us on a tour of your collection a little bit, or is it too hard to move around?
Sure, as long as I can flip the.
I know. I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut. I love what you got going, man. So you focus a lot on one of a kind artwork and stuff like that, right?
Yeah. So I'm
beautiful.
I'm gonna kind of start over here.
Maybe flip it up and down. Maybe there you go.
There you go.
There we go.
Look at that! Look at that!
So yeah, there's a lot of art on the walls, along with
beautiful.
Memorabilia. I try to have a specific spot for everything, so it looks like a collage in some ways, but everything's been very purposeful in its location.
Beautiful.
Up to and even including, if I get something, for example, if I consider this like a hole, because it is, that something will go there someday, that little blank space.
Yeah.
But I will get it custom made to be a very specific size.
Gotcha.
Here's a Steiner signed base. If you guys know Ricky.
What's the deal with those? I had an opportunity in one of those over the weekend.
Yeah, so Steiner kind of bamboozled Ricky into this one. So he does not sign bases. He had an exclusive contract with Steiner to come and sign helmets, baseballs, and I believe bats at an event. And when he showed up to sign those, there were X amount, and no one knows the number, of bases.
The guy told me 30 something of them. No,
I think there's more. I would say there's probably 75-ish.
Okay.
And so Ricky is there with his, at that time, friend and manager named Walt. And Ricky looks at Walt and says, what am I supposed to do with those? And Walt basically said, look, Ricky, we're not going anywhere. Our flight's not for 4 hours. Because if you want to sign them, sign them. If you don't. It's not part of the contract. Okay. And so Ricky's like, I'll sign them.
Wow.
So it never should have happened. I'm so glad it did, because Steiner basically had these custom bases built. So like each side, you know, this one says 1406. This says, you know, stolen base king. So each side, you know, has, you know, all time on that side.
Yeah.
And the fact that he not only signed it, but then added the inscription, you know, is just it ended up being a super, super unique piece.
Yeah.
And basically Milk Creek Sports, if you've ever heard of them out of Wisconsin, they basically bought, it sounds like, the entire lot. So they've been farming them out over eBay for a while, and then finally ran out, I think, over the last 6 to 12 months. So they're becoming harder to find, and the price is going up, obviously, now that they are no longer readily available. But you could snag them on eBay for literally months and months and months for $275, $300. And now, you know, they'll be $450 or $5 plus, more than likely.
That's a better price than what I was told.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely love the art side. Here's an entire and again, sorry, I'm in my basement. So, but this is a
that's
mosaic made out of sports cards.
Hey, that's
yeah. Go ahead.
It's John English.
Yeah, John English.
Yeah, that's the guy out here with us.
Yeah, absolute stud. I mean, what he can do, and like the amount of detail is just like, that's crazy to me.
Yeah.
If you guys remember the 1990, I think, classic cards, which were pink.
Yeah.
That's how he made the whole border, you know, using cut up 1990 classic cards.
Wow.
I love it.
So as a card collector, that's my first, you know, that's obviously a big part of my collection. I love how something's made out of cards.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, a lot of unique pieces, you know, autographed. I'm big with 939, you know, everything. And obviously my username and everything else, it's all about Rickey 939.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and yeah, I mean, this thing goes like all the way up here. I'm basically pointing at the ceiling now. This is a really cool piece. So you have that Rickey moment when he got the stolen base record in the background. And then you have this artist who did multiple teams as he's going through his entire run.
Wow.
Dive into second, which I just think is just absolutely phenomenal.
I love
That's
it.
really
Beautiful.
cool.
So yeah, those art pieces are just super slick. And I'm big with Mizuno. So anything Mizuno branded.
That's pretty slick. What's that? The lettering there? That Mizuno. What is that?
Yeah, so it's actually made out of wood. So I had somebody laser cut that out of wood, and then I came up with the idea to paint the M white, because if you look at his batting glove, the M's always white, and then the rest of the color is the green batting glove color.
Beautiful.
I call it Mizuno green. I think I've actually branded the color Mizuno green. If you ask any artist I've worked with, I'll be like, hey, can you make that Mizuno green? They're kind of like, what the hell are you talking about, dude? And then I'll send them a photo. They're like, oh. You know, I'm like, yeah, this color, man, that color, or that color.
Yeah,
there you go.
So there's a Mizuno Rickey Henderson wristband autograph, which is pretty cool.
Wow,
by the way, signing wristbands is not easy. So
I don't think I've ever seen that before.
No,
pretty sweet. That's from luckily I got that from another huge Henderson collector, probably one of the biggest ones over the years. And he's been literally selling off his collection for, I don't know, it seems like a decade plus, and still selling it. That's how big it was. You know, so I've been able to get some cool pieces through him.
I'm sure Mark's told you about the lady we came across that we was sailing with Rickey and everything else, and so it's some amazing stuff. He did she had some amazing pieces too. I was wondering what happened to the rest of all that stuff. Look at that. Look at those stickers. Look at those stickers up there.
Yeah.
Oh, that was nice.
So yeah, a little plug for Sash and Bash. Look, I am leaving room. Look at all
Look at that
real estate. So keep them coming, buddy. Keep them coming.
Perfect.
I got a So this was a wedding gift for my wife. So
wow.
I knew she was the one when I got this custom shop box made. So she puts up with this collection. She puts up with me. So she's an absolute saint.
Boy, look at that. That's a beautiful shape. Look at that black. I don't know what poster that is. That black poster there. That's a beautiful poster.
Yeah.
Well, so Kent, on that note, not to interrupt your tour, but I think I've been following you now for several years, and I think one of the things that I admire the most about you and your collection is how your family is a part of it. And what I always notice, I think it's usually Father's Day that stands out to me the most, where your family gifts you something, or Christmas maybe, or maybe both, but they always gift you something Rickey related, and it's always like really cool. and unique. And I just think that's so awesome that, like, you know, not only do you have this passion, but your family obviously sees it and shares it with you.
Yeah, I'm showing you a skate deck that was a Christmas present from my brother, you know? So my brothers, I have two older brothers. They do not share a passion for the hobby, but they certainly appreciate what I've done. And so anytime I see something super unique, they love to add to the collection themselves. And so, yeah, they got me that. I got this custom piece made from one of my brothers.
That's awesome.
So yeah, you're right. It is very much a family thing. Now that I have 3 boys, they have their own collections and passions. They're all in the hobby. They all love it. My oldest is 16 and he sells cards and is doing really, really well. He's a quote unquote super collector of Mike Mousakis, because again, we remember Moose as a Royal.
The Moose, yeah.
And now he's injured like every year. But I mean, it's cool that, you know, they see their dad, they see what I've done, and they're coming up with their own way of coming up with their own collections, which is just awesome.
That's amazing.
In fact, when I found out Rickey was coming here in October, the first thing Dylan said was, Dad, you got to go, right? And I'm like, well, yeah, of course I do. But that's him telling me, like, he even went as far to say, like, I'll help pay for one of the autographs, whatever we need to do. So, I mean, how cool is that? And it really motivates me. And like I said, it's part of being fun in the hobby that, you know, obviously will continue on for me.
That's awesome.
Does that
so
all not all those Rickey cards, the rookies and the Rickeys? I mean, you got so many.
Yeah, so this is what I call the heart of the Man Cave of Steel. So this is the display case. So it's my dream as a kid. I always wanted to go into a card store and just see a display case full of Rickey Hendersons.
Oh, that's awesome.
Which, of course, never happened, especially in the Midwest. So as an adult now, I've been able to create that. So it's all glass. You know, you can see basically every single side of it from every single angle. Oh, look, there's bobbleheads.
Yeah, there we go. Oh, yeah, we're bobblehead show. I forgot.
There's 3 San Diego Surf Dogs, so that's 2 of them. And then I got another one over there.
Nice.
But I love being able to see everything from every single angle. You know, and so, yeah, it is literally 3 stories. And, you know, you can even see through it up to the top. And I know it's dark, but
no, that's good.
I mean, there's a sign. I have, you know, tons of clear cards. They're basically all these are autographs, it seems like, on this row.
Amazing.
I have an art corner, so any custom art cards, you know, have their own corner. I love that you can see the skate deck through the display.
Yeah.
It's all about the details, man. But yeah, I mean, all the way, you know, and I, you know, have to stack cards. But yeah, it's just all dedicated to however they're, you know, bobbles all over the place.
Now, you don't, correct me if I'm wrong, but with your rookie collection, you don't get any of those graded, right?
Yeah. So of the 50 rookies that I have, I think I have 4 that are graded. That I didn't grade them though. I just bought them that way.
Yeah.
So all this plastic right here, those are all rookie cards.
Wow.
Jeez Louise.
And it basically looks like this.
That's awesome.
And they're in really, really good shape. I mean, as a collector, I could care less what someone else says my cards, you know, perceived subjective opinion is of them, because I'm never going to sell them, right? Once I'm gone, if my boys want to do that, cool. You know, they're probably sitting on some pretty good money at that point. But honestly, I would rather spend the money that it would take to get those graded on getting more really cool Rickey stuff.
Yeah, there you go. I like that.
And I don't frankly want to send them off and have them out of my possession. Like I don't have a full trust in that whole process. What if something happens in shipping? It's like, no way, man. I'm ugh.
Yeah.
Do you have any that you feel like if I did send this off, it might come back a 10?
Oof.
No, I mean,
no, I know there's only 24 10s, right?
Yeah. I think I would probably end up with, at least 4 or 5 9s at a minimum.
Wow.
Maybe even more. Quite a few 8s, quite a few 7s, and the rest is probably 6s, 5s. Nothing below a 5 though. Like everything is in really, really good shape. I was smart even as a kid. I knew to take care of cards.
Yeah.
I used protective pages from the very beginning. I didn't touch them with my hands very much. Like I put them in stuff. So I knew even at a very young age, like take care of this stuff, man. And it's paid off now as an adult.
Can you elaborate a little bit on that medicine Blue Jay, the Blue Cross Blue Jay
Medicine hat? Yeah.
medicine hat?
Yeah, so that was a 2002 Bobble. We'll see if the light will pick it up a little bit better. But a 2002 Bobble, I think the story was, Medicine Hat, he never played there, which is basically an affiliate of the Blue Jays. It's a mailboxes, etc. bobblehead. It was supposed to be a stadium giveaway of a run of, I believe, 400 or less. Okay. And it never happened due to licensing, basically. Okay. So once it came out that they didn't have the licensing, by the way, it's a terrible likeness. Like,
it's terrible.
It's that mustache. Like, what's up with that?
It looks more like Dave Henderson.
I hate it.
Right?
It looks like Dave Winfield.
But yeah, these things go for hundreds of dollars. Because
I know. I'm having a hard time getting one.
Yeah. I mean, have you ever seen this one? Have you guys seen the Lake Elsa?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I got the whole.
That's a set
on those.
Yeah, it makes like a home plate, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I love it. I dig stuff like that. It's super small.
Yeah. I like the 3 different surf dogs. I think it's cool they have 3 different surf dogs.
Yeah, so you got the Fleetwood one, the plain one, and then Whitfield or some car dealership or something.
Yeah.
We need to get Foco to get one made, get some licensing with them.
Yeah, we need to get a Yankees Bobble. We need to get a lot of bobbles. We need to get a Padres
now
bobble.
You're talking nonsense, Ken. Come on, Ken.
Hey, we can spread the love.
Ken, who is your favorite version of Rickey?
My favorite version is 1989, 1990 Rickey.
Good answer.
So part of here's my carpet.
I love those. Those are awesome.
So awesome.
I mean, how cool is that?
Yeah.
That's a PSA 10, buddy. Right there, baby. Look at
That's
that.
so
I can even
awesome.
step on it, and I'll even vacuum it. Flipping awesome.
That is great.
So we were talking about, like, when I was younger and he was in New York, I never, the Yankees weren't on TV here. And even if they were, I was in bed, right? Because it was going to be school night. I can't watch the Yankees. And so when he got traded back, you're right. That was a huge deal because now he's back and they're in the playoffs. So Oakland was on TV all the flipping time. Yeah. Obviously, even in my market, right? So that's when I got more exposure to Rickey than ever before on TV, obviously in the newspapers. They go on to win 89. They obviously had an amazing 90 run. Still don't understand how they got swept. It's impossible in the World Series. I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense. Best player on the planet, bar none, during those years. And then 91, of course, all the publicity around breaking the record. Right. 93 world champion again. So, he's on TV all the time with the Blue Jays during that run. So that my exposure to him just skyrocketed. And then I went to every single game that any of his teams ever went to, Royal Stadium or Kauffman, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. But you're right. That was such a huge moment that when he went back, that's when my love for him absolutely took off. Because then I could see him and I could really see that swag and his level of play. You can only see so many things in like newspaper clippings, right?
Right.
But
that's awesome.
Or sports at the time.
What's your?
Go ahead.
No, you can go ahead.
Well, I know you're a big one of the art. That's a lot of what you collect now. I see a lot of. What's your? Yeah, I mean, you don't want to give up what you're looking for, but like, what's something you'd like to add to your collection that you're trying to? I mean, do you have any jerseys or anything? I mean, I know sometimes it gets really expensive, right? I mean,
oh my gosh, yeah. Rickey's not cheap, guys.
Right.
And so I'm really fortunate that so much of the stuff I've had for a really long time, and just now I've been able to display it. We moved to this house in 2018, and I bought this house for the basement. Okay. My wife goes to the kitchen and the bathrooms and the bedrooms. I don't need to see any of that. I'm going downstairs. And so when I saw it was an open canvas, I'm like, this is it. This is what I need. Because I had so much stuff that was just stored and in beautiful condition, but just I had nowhere to display it before in our other house, especially now with 3 kids. Yeah. So now it's the time to shine. Have I acquired a lot of stuff since 2018? Sure.
Yeah.
But so much of what I had obviously was from before that. But there's a lot of stuff that I'm constantly looking for. And frankly, it's like regional stuff. I need you guys to find me California Highway Patrol cards from, 1997 San Diego Padres. I can't find that stuff around here. It's impossible.
Yeah.
There's regional Mets releases. There's regional stuff from all over the place. Frankly, Toronto stuff is hard to find. And so, anytime I find some of that really unique oddball regional stuff, I just absolutely love it. Some of the favorite stuff I have, because you just don't find that. The mainstream, Topps cards that get autographed. Whoa, look at
I know. Look at that.
What?
Wow. I thought you were just saying you don't like Rickey, so you just weren't going to show up or something.
He got that extra $50 for that hour on
I'm just glad he's alive.
I know.
You guys just, I almost got eaten by a coyote today. Jesus Christ.
Rickey wouldn't have got eaten by a coyote. He would have outran that sucker.
That's right.
Oh,
That's right. Hey, you have an excuse.
I've been watching the show, and I just got to say, I'm 100% impressed by your collection.
Oh,
Holy
Kent.
hell.
Kent is I love Kent. He is everything about you, man. The way you collect everything and what you collect is just amazing, man.
Insane.
Again, right back at you guys. I'm telling you.
So your group, you have the Rickey. You run you're one of the admins, or I don't know if you run the group.
Yeah, I'm just one of the admins. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So that's always a great group. I've tried to push anybody over to that kind of stuff. I mean, I try to push people to you whenever, anything comes up Rickey related, but just because your wealth of knowledge plus you're willing to talk to people. That's what I love.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love sharing. I mean, at the end of the day, I love, so I'm at the point now where I know I have some pieces that maybe folks haven't seen before, and or I haven't even been able to display myself. So now that I have been able to display them, I want to share it with as many people as I can who have an interest in that stuff. And so every single day I share out one new item from the collection. And I've been doing this now for like 2.5+ years, right? So what is that? 750 plus postings. But there's like 13,000 items. I could go on forever and ever and ever. And so it's just fun to be able to share stuff out. And frankly, it helps me keep organized. It's great for insurance purposes because I'm documenting everything as I go. So it has a dual purpose too. I've often asked, hey, how long is it going to take you to inventory everything? I'm like, there's no way. So I'm literally just going to take it day by day, and I'm going to get as far as I can go. But yeah, the idea of sitting down and like putting everything into like a spreadsheet or a database, honestly, it would blow my mind. And I'm an IT guy. Like that, it should be something I want to do.
Right.
Hell no. I ain't touching that. So yeah, it's just become a fun hobby. And I'm just amazed that people are following along and love the journey. It's great.
A lot of the
Make a catalog. Make a catalog of your collection. Take pictures of everything and put it in a book and sell the book. Say, hey, this is my collection.
There you go. Yeah. I mean, at the end of all this, I would have everything pictures for sure. Absolutely. My phone is absolutely filled with thousands and thousands and thousands of Rickey photos. Anytime I get something in the mail. So like here's today's mail day. This is not a typical mail day because this is like really, really good stuff.
Yeah.
Wow.
But anytime I get something, so like we'll just take, I don't know, we'll take doesn't matter. We'll take this one. So beautiful triple threads card, lead off home run. Green, anything green I love because anything that color matches a jersey I want. And obviously if it's A's, of course I want the green color, but I just like green in general, so that helps. But as soon as I got this card today, the first thing I did was, protect it. And then I immediately take a photo of the front and the back. And at some point in the future, maybe 2 weeks from now, I'll post this as the PC swag of the day post. It's just whenever it ends up on my camera roll, whatever I literally choose that day, which is completely random for the most part. But yeah, so every single one of these, it's a work of love that I'll take a photo of the front and back. This one's dual sided, which is
I love that. That's pretty slick.
And look at the shine on these things, man. I mean,
the cards now are amazing. That's real.
But Rob, you said something earlier. I love working with artists to create something that most have never seen because it's custom.
Yeah.
So everybody
awesome.
recognizes 1990
The
Donruss,
score, yeah.
that crazy ass red set, right? And they had a subset in 1990 Donruss that was called the MVP series. And ironically, Rickey was the MVP in 1990, but he did not end up in the real MVP subset by Donruss that year. So I had a crazy idea of, let's make a dual-sided card that takes the Mizuno green batting glove color as the border.
Of course.
Has a badass picture of him diving with the green gloves.
That's awesome.
You'll see it's been rebranded as Mizuno 90. I'm not sure if that's coming through.
Yeah, I see it. That's great.
The background that you see going diagonal was that wood Mizuno branding piece that I showed you on the wall.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
So the artist literally made it like a backdrop. And then, of course, it says Man of Steel, up there. But then on the red side, the M in the MVP is the Mizuno M.
Oh, yeah.
So
Very
it's like
slick.
all these level of, and of course you have to find a picture that has the gloves. So everything is like a labor of love, and like this is a 1 of 1. I mean, I even put like a gold stamp. I'm not sure if that's coming through or not, but it's that sort of labor that I love doing because that's where I'm kind of at in the collection. This stuff makes me more excited now than a mainstream card because those are just common now.
Yeah.
Ricky's found absolutely everything. So even an autograph these days on a card, I'm just kind of like numb to it. Like, okay, it's just another one. It's cool, but it's not as cool as some of those other things that I love working with.
Is that something that you, when you reach out to these artists to get it done, is that something that you pay more for? Is it to make it a 1 of 1, or is that just something the artists say, yeah, well, I'll only do one of these?
So each artist is their own conversation. No two are alike. Pricing's different. Methodology around how they do it is different, which is cool and unique. And so, I've probably worked with, oh God.
Yeah, you have a lot.
Count that up. I mean, 100+ artists.
You have a lot.
And I really enjoy that process, which for some people would probably drive them up the wall. I think they appreciate me because I come to them with a very specific ask. This is what I'm looking for. It's not like I say, I have no idea what I want. Just make me something, right? I get down to very specific colors, very specific years of imagery that I'm looking for. Like, don't show me a Rickey Henderson card with the stolen base above his head because that's the most common image of all time. Right. I have a bajillion of them. But if you Google Rickey Henderson, that's the first thing that comes up. So I'm much more specific in my ask about different types of cards that I'm looking for. But for that particular one, that guy added the 1 of 1 without me even knowing, really. I think he did ask. He goes, do you want me to stamp it? I'm like, sure. Yeah. But other artists, what they'll do is they have basically a regular rate. If you want 1 of 1, then there's a rate for that. If you want a parallel, like a foil version, that might cost a premium. It's literally all over the map. Yeah, and these cards can go from $5 to $500 and everywhere in between. Like literally, it's like a whole new niche. It's a whole new market. Yeah. And you see more and more artists and their capabilities just getting better and better and better by the week.
It's incredible.
Amazing. It really, really is.
It's incredible.
Real quick, Cox brought up something I was on that earlier. There was supposedly an Era Blue Jay bobblehead came up last weekend, and I researched it. I don't believe I think it's just a custom bobblehead, but I researched it pretty well. It had no maker on, nothing like that. Did you happen to see that, Ken?
I didn't. I've seen a Boston Red Sox one that someone tried to pass off. I'm like, no, definitely a custom. There was never a general release ever of the Red Sox one.
This was a goofy Blue Jay one. I went down and then they sure backed off their story real quick when I started questioning it specifically. So it was an interesting thing. Sorry.
Yeah, there's only 9. I guess if you include the Medicine Hat one, and per my records, whether they're accurate, there's only 10 general release Rickeys bobbleheads. That's obviously not including customs or anything like that, but minor league and in major league, I'm at 10. And that includes the 3 for the San Diego Surf Dogs. So if you take that out, well, then it's really 8.
Right.
Modesto 2002, 2003, 2004. And then you have the A's 2011, 2018, You have Bobble legs in, what was that, 2020?
Yeah, that was 2018.
2018?
That was
Yeah.
Bobble Legs 2018.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have the
6, 7.
15 or 16 was the 939.
I'm missing one or two that you're referring to.
Lake
Yeah, there's only been
Elsinore,
2 A's Rickies.
So what?
There's only been 2 A's Rickies.
Correct.
Right.
Oh, I know why. Okay, yeah, you're right. I was counting them out. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Yep. Which is, to me, just fascinating. I mean, the guy played for 9 teams. He played for 25 years, and that he has less bobbles than, like, I mean, there's more.
Well,
you name them. Like, it's just fascinating. But I get it. It's licensing. It's everything else.
The story we continually keep hearing is licensing.
Yep.
I'm 100% on board, and it's the first name I bring up every time. Every time anywhere anybody talks, is the first name I bring up. And like you said, he can do a whole series of different teams with him. You know what I mean? And I think it would sell just fine. But
maybe his daughter's watching tonight.
yeah, maybe.
Yeah, there you go. Well, and it's funny because even his Hall of Fame licensing. So as a player, you have player licensing, and then when you make it to the Hall of Fame, you have Hall of Fame licensing,
Right.
which is separate from your namesake regular licensing, if that makes sense.
Right.
But there's even different levels of Hall of Fame licensing. And so just because you have a Hall of Fame license, it doesn't mean you can get to do every player. And so Rickey's not even part of the standard Hall of Fame licensing.
Right.
So it even makes it harder at that level. It's like, son of a gun. And part of it's kind of like, well, thank God. Like, as a collector, God, I would be bankrupt. And I'm actually kind of like, okay, maybe this isn't so bad. But then it brings me down the custom route that, if I'm ever going to get one, I guess I'm just going to have it made.
It makes you wonder, why, though? Because he does a lot of signings.
Yeah.
And
it's fairly new. Like he's done a lot of signings, let's just say, since Hall of Fame years.
Yeah.
But prior to that, not really. I mean, it was tough. And frankly, he's had different relationships with those different promoters over the years because they've screwed him. I mean, it's even touched about in the book a little bit. Like, promoters, that's a seedy world, man.
Yeah.
And like when you have Steiner pulling one over on you, even on the base, like that's not cool. Like, don't do that crap. You don't do that. And he was cool enough to sign him. He could have said, screw you guys, and they would have lost all the money they put into that adventure. But yeah, he's been screwed multiple times by, I won't name the names, but big promoters. And frankly, Walt, one of his previous managers, basically told them, screw you guys, like, we're not doing it anymore. And so it wasn't so much Rickey saying no as much as the promoters made it so difficult and frankly would make promises of, we'll pay you X amount of money, and then they don't pay, or they say, we're going to pay for your, room and board and flight, because all that's always part of a promotion. Like, Rickey's going to have his flight paid for to come to Kansas City. He'll have the hotel paid for. He has to pay nothing out of pocket. And frankly, same for his daughter that will be right next to him. She'll get it too. Yeah. And so a lot of those promoters will promise that, and then it doesn't happen. So now it's out of Rickey's dime, which all of us were probably like, big deal to Rickey, right? But still, it's breaking the contract and the breach of contract. And that's why you'll see all the time people not show up. And then it's always, oh, that guy's an asshole. He didn't show up. Well, there's probably a story why he didn't show up.
But I mean, I think that's what the point I'm trying to make is it probably is a big deal to Rickey. Like, Rickey didn't make the kind of money that these guys are making now. I'm not saying he's like, I don't think he's poor, but I think he has to make a living somehow. Right. And I think this is part of it, but I almost wonder, like, how many less signings he would have to do if he would let somebody like a Foco or Baseball Hall of Fame produce with his likeness and sign a licensing deal. So I just think he might be able to work less and make more if something, and it's certainly coveted. I mean,
well, and I even brought up an idea to some people who, are close to him. Like, there's ways to structure those contracts to say, maybe for a 1-year release, a limited run, it's like a one-time grace period. It doesn't have to be a forever thing. You don't have to sign a 5, 10, 15-year thing. Yeah. And even that, I would think, would be more acceptable. Because I mean, people are getting licenses. Like, I mean, Mitchell and Ness, for example, they're one of the few that out there that can actually make a Henderson jersey because he's given them the rights. And yet, it took them until last year, the year before, to come out with a Yankees one because he said you could only do these specific A's ones, and they had to go back to him and say, "Can we make a Yankees one?" We're like getting a lot of requests for that, and he basically had to say yes. So like he owns that whole process. He can say yes or no, which is mind-boggling to me.
Right.
But all the other teams, nope, can't get Red Sox, Seattle, Padres. There might be a Padres actually, but
Mets.
can't get Mets. And Mets jerseys are like I love those colors. Like,
I think it's a good looking jersey for sure.
Yeah, I would get one of them in a heartbeat. So it's a weird world on that.
John Cox sent that picture.
Yeah, that's the piece.
It's Bobby Bonilla. We've seen it was posted in the group, and
yeah, we all debunked that pretty quick in the group. Like, has anyone ever seen that? Like, when there's 1,000+ Henderson collectors in this group, if you post a picture and all of us within a few seconds say, yeah, we've never seen it, it ain't real. Like, it's not. There's no way it's never made it through all of our eyes.
It didn't even have any representation as like a prototype or anything. There was nothing there to support any of the claim that would have been. So
it looks like a custom, like the matte paint job, but it looks like Bobby Bonilla's head too, though. I'm like, dude, it's not. Hey, Hudson wants to show you something, Kent, and say thank you.
What's up, Hudson?
Thank you for this Raleigh card I got signed the other day.
Dude, I am so happy. So, yeah, your dad sent me a photo of that, and that literally made my day the other day when I saw that you got to meet him, and then you took that specific card. That's awesome, buddy. Good for you.
So the backstory on that is Hudson had I think it was the Rickey 1406 pin. Was that what it was, Kent?
It was, yeah.
Yeah, it was a pin on Hudson's board that Kent didn't have, and he was looking for it. And so I asked Hudson, I'm like, hey, do you want to trade this? You could probably get something pretty cool from Kent. And so Kent knew, I forget from what, I think I'd posted something about Hudson like in Raleigh in the past. And he had that card, he thought of Hudson, and that was the main piece in that deal. And then Kent threw in a couple other, actually a bunch of other Rickey cards that have gone into his collection. But yeah, when we went to see Raleigh the other day, this is the card that Hudson chose to take to get signed. So
very cool.
And Raleigh's signature is just such
the best.
Oh, yeah,
I love his signature.
And what did Raleigh say about the card, Hud?
He's never seen it before.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah. He asked Hudson if it was a new card because he's never seen it before.
So yeah, that was a custom art guy who made me some Hendersons. Well, made a general release Rickey, and because I bought the Rickey. He also included the other A in the set, which of course was Raleigh. So
wow,
awesome. I need to find that baby at home and look at it now. So that's awesome.
Look at it now.
So cool.
Thank you. All right, you can go to bed now.
Yeah. No ice cream for you either.
So Mark, I was going to ask you. I'm surprised that you didn't take that amazing piece that you have from the media set. The 1983, was it 83? Is it 83?
80 is 83 or 84. I don't know.
Yeah. I am so jealous of this, by the way. This is the coolest flipping thing ever. So how did that come together?
So, stop. I'm getting punched in the stomach right now. So over the last couple of years, I became, I don't know what you'd call it, Rob, acquaintances with.
I thought he called you his friend.
He did, but I don't know if we'd go that far. So I became friends with a former A's executive, big-time A's executive, who has sold me a few things out of his collection for pretty good prices. To be
I would
honest.
say he's a friend. He's a friend.
That's awesome.
he is a friend. So, anyways, did he put it on? Was it on eBay, Rob?
It was for a heartbeat.
Yeah, it was. And then, but he sent me a picture of it too in email and asked if I'd be interested. And as soon as I knew Rob was interested, I was interested, because if Rob's on something, it's you know it's going to be unique for sure. So yeah, I
Well,
told him, yeah, I'm interested, and it was in this like he had it in this like super ugly
it was bad.
bolted down frame, like it was like a big box type. So I had it like that for a while, but about maybe a year and a half ago, I had it taken out of there, and I had him put a custom frame on it to match my other frames, the matting
Really?
and whatnot. Yeah, it came out really clean.
Yeah.
And I actually, I was telling Smitty when we were in line the other day waiting for Ricky that I had a lot going on the last couple of weeks, so I didn't really have the time to do it. But I do wish that I had thought a little bit ahead of time about taking it out of the frame and getting it signed, because it would have also counted as a flat, so it wouldn't have been as expensive as the bobblehead was. But
Right.
man, I forget who I was talking. I was talking to Cowboy Norm yesterday, and I'm like, I have like 7 or 8 things that I want to get signed right now by Ricky, and who knows what that'll be, how many that'll be the next time he's around. You know, I just gotta pick and choose what you get done at a certain time. But that's definitely on the list. It's a. I'll show it one more time for everyone. It's a one of one.
The source was critical on it. Who it came from was critical. It made it much more.
Yeah, so it came from people that know the A's. It came from Andy Dolich. Well, actually, not just the A's. I mean, he's been an executive with 49ers, the Memphis Grizzlies. He's pretty big in the sports executive game. But it's a pinball machine.
Out of all the stuff he was getting rid of stuff, that's the oddest thing he got rid of. It's like the best, like tremendously the best thing he's got rid of.
And the artist, unfortunately, the artist just died like 2 years ago. But he's the same artist that did that poster, the Battle of the Bay. So that's pretty cool.
And for somebody like me in the Midwest, even getting just the general release of that media guide or that booklet, that record, or however they phrased it, is difficult to find. And yet now you have the one of one like original, which is just, it's amazing. It really is.
And it is. I wish I'd taken pictures of it when I took it out, because you can't see it behind the glass, but when it's out of the frame, it's literally like the painting. It's textured. It's really cool. It's not a print. It's
so
literally
cool.
The painting. So yeah,
it's actually probably pretty good you kept it where it was at then, because heaven forbid something happened in transit while you're there with it. I mean, oh my God.
I know, but I at some point I'll probably try and get that signed, because how often do you get that kind of a opportunity?
You can come to Kansas City on October 8th.
Yeah, there you go.
Or he's in Nashville.
Ricky's going to be 20 minutes from the cave. You think we can all work together and get him here? I mean, come on. He's your executive friend. Like,
I can think of 50,000 reasons how you could get him there.
Yeah, and say, I know a way to get him there.
Yeah. Good point. Huh.
All you got to do is ask every one of your Twitter followers for 50 cents.
Yeah.
And it's a done deal. It's a done deal.
You know what's funny is I'm gonna show up there on the 8th, and you know I'll introduce myself and of course say hi, and of course he will have no idea. Like I've met Ricky, I've talked to Ricky. You know, I'm in the book, which he probably has no clue. You know, I have
the book a lot
from the Henderson family. You know, he probably has no idea I have one of his Christmas cards, which is just weird, right? But it's the way it should be. Like he shouldn't really know who I am. But yeah, it's just funny that, you know, there's going to be people that go up there who frankly just know Rickey Henderson from a name, you know, oh, you're the fast guy. You used to steal bases. And yet I'll be able to call his daughter by her name and like, you know, those sort of things, which you think immediately he'd be like, whoa, who's this cat? Like he knows some things.
Right.
So yeah, it'll always be it'll be entertaining to say the least.
Do you have any idea what you're going to bring yet, or anything you want to let on, or is that going to be a
one
surprise?
of two things? He's either going to bring the book and have him sign the page with the collections in it.
That's a good idea. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
And then, or I had a custom card made a couple years ago, specifically in a spot to have a future signature done. And I just never had the chance. And so now that I do, I'll probably get that signed. So one of my buddies, which you saw at the show, Mark, got the skate deck signed, which is just the flipping coolest thing ever. It turned out so good.
Yeah, he used the yellow pen. It came out fantastic.
Yes. So yeah,
fantastic.
It's pretty awesome.
I like the question. Will you sign your photo in the book, Kent?
Sure, why not?
Are there?
Well, it's funny that came up. I think it's Josh who asked that. That's funny. I'm big into card art. I'm a big card art advocate. I always post a new card art item every Tuesday. Today I did one. And one of the artists I work with recently said, "Hey, it's a great idea that you have for this card. Can I use a piece of your memorabilia on it?" And I'm like, "Sure." So it ended up being a picture of the 82 signed cleat. And so once that was done, he's like, "I want to try something." He goes, "If you're open to it, I'm open to it." I'm like, "All right, what you got?" So it's like he turned the tables. Like I'm the one that's supposed to be working with him for the specific ask. And then he flipped it on to me saying, "Let's dual sign one." He goes, I'll print off 24 beautiful foiled cards. I want you to sign 24 of them, send them back to me. I'll sign 24 of them, and we'll see how many will sell. And I'm thinking, no, nobody wants my autograph. Why does somebody want a picture of my memorabilia? But okay, let's try it. And sure as hell, I think 23 of the 24 have sold. I'm just like, that's unbelievable.
That's awesome, man.
I was signing my own art card. Like, it's just weird.
So where do I get this at? How can I be number 24?
Yeah, seriously.
I'll have to send you the link. It's on his website. So, yep. I'll send you the link.
We need to sell that out. We'll get that sold out. I'd love to get a buyer on that.
It was fun. And talk about nerve-wracking. Oh my God, I don't know how these players sign thousands. Like, honestly, I had to sign 24, and I'm like, I can't screw this up. Like, he actually sent me 26, so in case I messed up, I had a couple extra. But dude, that's nerve-wracking stuff, man. Like,
that's insane. That's awesome, though.
I love it. That was fun.
Well, Kent, I'm gonna cut us off. This is amazing. I'll be honest with you. I've been wanting to get you on. I want to kind of dive into a little bit more, you're a player collector, not just bobbleheads, right, obviously, but I want to get into, stuff like this as well. And so you're kind of breaking the seal for that. And I love it, man. Honestly, you can't get enough kudos from me, from what you do and who you are. And you're one of the people that I admire, a fellow collector and everything else. So
you do it the right way, for sure.
Yes.
I appreciate that, guys. Again, right back at you. It's
and
amazing.
You give back every ounce that you take from the hobby, and that's a big deal. You know what I mean? That's huge to me. So I'm gonna cut us off short. We're hour and a half. Man, I could go for another hour and a half, no problem. But
that's right.
We're gonna cut this off. So I appreciate it. We're gonna have you back on. Maybe we'll get you back on after you get the signing and stuff done. I'd like to see everything.
Sounds good. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. Had a blast.
Hey, thank you. This is amazing, man. I love it. I love everything about it. So, all right.
Thanks.
Mark, you got anything else?
No, I just wanted to echo what you were saying, Kent. It was a pleasure having you on. I've had the privilege of talking to you here and there over the years, and just to spend this kind of time and see the Man Cave of Steel like this is, for me and for, I think, the people that got a chance to see it tonight, and hear you talk about it, that's truly special and an honor. So thank you for being on with us, and we'll look forward to talking to you soon.
Yeah.
Sounds good, guys. Thanks again. Really appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for watching, and we'll be back. We'll see you next week. Thanks, guys.
Take care.
Bye.
Rest in peace, Bobble Foo.
Yeah. Rip.